and Humanity Toastmaster. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. I'm glad you're here. It's an honor. I'd like to talk to you tonight about some precious memories that I have with my mother fishing the river. I was about middle school age. They called it junior high back in those days. And I've thought about it in the years since then, what kind of a commitment it takes to decide to be a fisherman. It's quite an investment. You have to have a skiff, first of all. You have to have a motor, you have to have oars, you have to have all this equipment, and you have to have the appropriate wear, rain wear, because you're going to get wet even if it's sunny out. When you pull that net in, you're going to get all kinds of water all over you, you're just drenched. And then if it's cold, you have to wear something warm, of course, under that. And if it's windy, and then if you're fishing at night, you have to have a headlamp with this great big battery. I hope they've improved that through the years. But back in the day, it was this great big square battery. It was heavy. I never had one. But you needed that. One of the most interesting things for me is that you need a net. And I brought one. I brought a part of a net. Now this net, of course, is how the fish swims up the river and catches, you hope, in your net. But the net doesn't come this way. It just comes with the mesh. You have to hang it. With hanging twine, you load the needle with your hanging twine. This is a small needle, and this is the larger needle. And there's a certain method that you use in order to attach your corks and your mesh to your cork line, and of course you have to do that to your lead line also, because you have to keep the net down and up. You have to keep it perpendicular, and so there's just a lot before you even go in the water of the commitment that you have to make in order to fish. Now to the more pleasurable part of fishing. Since I was in middle school, I didn't have to do the work. I could just watch her do it. When I got tired, I could go to sleep in the bow of the boat, and that was fine with me. It's really relaxing to be drifting in the river, asleep in the bow of the boat. Yeah, it's nice. So you set your net out. First of all, you watch to see if the person before you is picking up their net. And once they start picking up their net, then you can set out. So you go across the river and you come back with your net going in the water. And you wait. And you listen. And if you're fishing at night, you can't see. So you wear the silly headlamp. And you hear a splash. Well, if the stars are out and the moon and you can see the phosphorus in the water, you might be able to find that splash. But otherwise, you got to turn your headlight on and see where that splash came from. That's what you want to hear, is that splash, more than once. That means a fish hit your net. Now the size of the fish is important. You have to have the appropriate mesh size in order to catch the appropriate fish. Or they'll go through your net, or they'll just go bounce off if it's too small. So are there springs, or sockeye, or silver? What kind of salmon are you after? You have to have the right size mesh. So you're set out and you're waiting for your splash. Sometimes you don't get a splash, but just some corks go down. A few times these corks go down. There's no splash, no noise. That's because the fish hit way low in the water, deep in the water, not close enough up to the surface in order to make the splash. I would like to share one of my most precious memories was my birthday. My mother always asked me every year, what do you want for your birthday? What do you want to do for your birthday? And this year I thought about it a little bit. I must have been 12, 13 years old. And I said, I want a fish breakfast. I want to cook it on the campfire alongside the river. I want fried fish. Well, I don't know why my mother always had camping stuff available, but she had it with her. She said, all right, baby, if we catch a small one, a jack salmon, then we'll do that. Now, jack salmon is a small spring, and you can't sell them. Like crab, they have to be a certain size, or you throw them back. And the same thing's true with jack. You throw them back, or I guess you can eat them, and that's what we did. Mother fried that fish up, and it was really delicious. One of my most memorable birthdays of all. Thank you very much for listening.